Hi, my name is Dr. Justin Farr, and I am a member of the faculty in the Department of Sports Sciences. Today I'm going to try to give you a little bit of information about the Thomas More University concussion policy and how that we handle concussions here at Thomas More University. First of all, I would like to make the assumption that most of us listening to this video are probably an athlete at the school. However, concussions are not limited to athletes, and we must not think of them as such. So a concussion is simply a brain injury. A concussion usually affects the cognitive function of our brain. It affects the way the nerves communicate in our brain, and thus affects the way that our brain helps our body function. Our brain can affect us emotionally. We can get angered easily. We may experience sadness, things of that nature. It can also affect us physically. We can lose our balance. We may have trouble hearing. We may have trouble walking a straight line. We may also have trouble cognitively, trouble focusing, trouble understanding the information that is being presented to us, or even sleeping. Concussions can definitely affect the way that we sleep and not allow us to get the rest that we need. There are many other symptoms for concussions, and you can find those symptoms on the Heads Up website that is provided by the Centers for Disease Control. Symptoms of concussions are commonly, but not limited to, headaches, blurred vision, ringing in your ears, feeling like you're in a fog, or kind of not knowing where you are, the inability to sleep, sensitivity to light. Quite often we will see a student that has a concussion wear sunglasses in a bright room. And there are many other symptoms, all of which once again can be found on the CDC website. I do want to make clear that if you experience these symptoms after experiencing some type of head trauma, it is important that you seek medical attention. Athletes must first seek medical attention from our athletic training staff. However, if you are not able to access our athletic training staff and you feel that it is emergency, such as, but not limited to, you are puking or throwing up, you are passing out, you are unable to remain conscious, you may have bleeding, things of that nature, you need to be seen by an emergency physician. However, athletes really should make it a priority to see our sports medicine staff in order to get the proper care needed to treat our concussions. Now, at Thomas More, we do have a collaborative plan to help students return to the classroom once they have had a concussion. Some students will return much quicker than others. Some students will return to learn quicker than they will to play. In other words, you might be back in the classroom before you're allowed to return to practice. This is quite common. And as such, we want to make sure that students understand that learning is a priority, and as soon as their brain is able to handle cognitive load, we would like to do so. Return to learn is the term that we use to return students to the classroom. Only physicians, that is somebody that has a doctorate of medicine or a doctor of osteopathic medicine, can give accommodations to students that are acceptable under the Americans with Disabilities Act. These accommodations may include, but are not limited to, days off from class. You may have extended test times, a reduced workload, limited screen time, meaning you are not staring at your phone all day, or that you are not using your computer for all of your learning all of the time. You may have gradual acclimatization back to class. You may even have a reader for some time because you have a hard time focusing on letters. These accommodations vary and are guided by the physician and the Office of Student Accessibility. If you do receive accommodations from a physician, you must not only, if you are an athlete, give those accommodations to our athletic training staff because that is part of your paperwork, but you also must submit that to the Office of Student Accessibility. This is important because the Office of Student Accessibility will then let the professors know that you may have a head injury that is inhibiting your ability to learn, and thus you have accommodations to assist in your learning. And this will allow them to forgive work if needed, or to allow you to complete work at a later time or in a different format. This is important. Please, once again, make sure that you know that if you get accommodations from a physician, you must turn those accommodations in to the appropriate office. That is the Office of Student Accessibility. You can find this office located in the back right corner of the Benedictine Library. I hope that you gain a little bit of information from this. This is not conclusive. This is not an overarching theme of concussions. And trust me, there is a lot of information out there about concussions. And I would in fact invite you to come take one of my classes in the exercise science program if you are interested in learning more about those things. However, I am always willing to answer questions. You can email me. You can always just search my email in your email and you will be able to find me. Once again, my name is Dr. Justin Farr, and I thank you for your time.